of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank everyone for their attendance, and if the minutes can reflect the role of the various trustees and staff, let's move on to item 3. Entertain a motion for the approval of the 5-3 village board and to file the 1-6 CDA, the 3-9 public safety committee, the 4-5 finance committee, the 4-12 board of public works, 4-14 architectural review board meeting minutes as presented.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Motion and second, as always. Any comments, questions, clarifications on the minutes?
Yeah, on the 4-5 finance meeting, I was listed as being in attendance, I was not at the meeting.
That being said, motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Anybody in the audience or online wishing to be heard on a non-agenda item?
I do, President.
Okay.
Okay. Our political system is a democracy. Trustees are elected to make policy decisions and represent the citizens to make the village government effective and cost efficient. The Grafton Village Board consists of 7 members, the president and 6 trustees who are elected at large to serve and represent the citizens of Grafton. At the village board meeting on Monday, May 3rd, the board went into closed session to discuss the topic noticed. Consider the performance evaluation of the village administrator. I, of course, will not speak about the closed session, but rather about the process leading up to it. We have never had any written formal or informal process addressing the administrator's evaluation. The village president has stated that he alone is in charge of deciding the message to be delivered through the evaluation, including future goals, any terms and conditions pertaining to the administrator's job performance, and any wage adjustment related to the evaluation. The remaining 6 trustees have been told that they are welcome to give opinions, but we also have been told that in the end, the president will make all final decisions on the evaluation on his own. This is unsettling in many ways. The village ordinances do not give any single trustee or the president the full weight of this responsibility. Rather, the ordinance states that the village board, which includes the president, has the right to establish employment terms and conditions. It's right in section 2.18.020. The president does have specific additional responsibilities, such as running the meeting and preserving order, but the president does not have the sole power to evaluate the administrator. I'm asking that going forward, the full board be allowed, as is its right, to fully participate in the evaluation process. Each member of the board must be entitled to provide their opinion, and that opinion is entitled to equal weight. The goal would be to develop a consensus, but if one cannot be reached, a decision would be put to a majority vote. This process would not be unusual or against the grain. I have contacted several nearby communities, and full board involvement is the way they all do it. For example, I have been informed by Saltville, Cedarburg, and Port Washington that the full board of elected officials actively participate and decide in the administrator's review and eval. Each trustee or council person has an equal say and votes with equal weight. Several of these communities meet directly with their administrator to discuss past performance and future goals. It is a group effort, and each elected official has equal voting power. We need to develop a formal, transparent process to be followed going forward. We need to decide on an evaluation tool that has job performance criteria, benchmarks, and goals, including what happens if the goals are not met. I know that several other trustees have good ideas on these issues, and we could also borrow from what other communities have put into place. We need to start the process now, not wait until next year. Why would we wait? Let's work together now and hammer this out now so all of us understand the new process. I'm therefore asking that we put this on our next agenda so that a written process can be developed and in place for the next evaluation for 2021.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay.
Jesse, thank you for the binder.
Yes, sir.
Could you tell me when those sheets were printed? There was no date in that.
When the sheets were printed with,
I'm sorry, what?
the individual
The
inserts,
contents of the binder?
over the course of the last week or so. Trustee Luft, reminded me at the, last meeting that this wasn't a project that was outstanding. So I made it a point to make sure it was done in time to have in the, mailbox with this week's packets for this meeting, so.
Right, so going through there, there's no dates, because there's quite a few errors as far as personnel. 3 vacancies in the police department. We have a crew person.
Okay,
go
there
ahead.
are some of the documents that are, basically printed annually, meaning, they were probably printed in January, maybe early February. So with that annual printing there, they would not be re-upped until, the next year. The agreements, those were photocopied from the date of signature and we received it back. I guess I would have to know which documents in particular.
I'd like to interrupt. So, there's really not a back and forth on the persons wishing to be heard, but I do believe you have this as an agenda item under your, updates.
Yes,
So I think we can cover it.
I'm just, if you were done with them in February, maybe? Why would it be, we didn't get it back till May?
Again, the person's requesting to be heard, it's not really a discussion, but it is on the agenda for under his report, so we can certainly take it up there. All right, anybody else wishing to be heard on a non-agenda item? Okay, let's move on to item 5, business presented by president. There was one thank you letter that from Holly Manning, expressing her thanks to the village board for participation in an acknowledgement of Tim. Let's move on to item 5, resolutions, ordinance, action items. Item A is a resolution commending Jack Knetter on his retirement. That is resolution. Takes an offer, motion, and a second.
I'll offer.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Offer, motion, second. Jack is not in attendance tonight, so we'll be mailing it to him, but as we usually do with people that have spent considerable parts of their lives in dedicated service to the community, in this particular case, 43 plus years, I'll read off a couple of paragraphs. Whereas Jack Knetter began his employment with the Village of Grafton on August 8th, 1977, whereas Jack has been a member of the Public Works Department for his 43 years of employment with the village. Now therefore be resolved that the Village Board of the Village of Grafton does hereby acknowledge with sincere appreciation and gratitude the 43 plus years of dedicated service that Jack Knetter has provided to the community. And be it further resolved that the Village Board and the village staff of the Village of Grafton do hereby wish Jack the very best on his retirement. So, congratulations, Jack, wherever you're at. So we have an off motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That resolution passes. Item B is an acceptance of a $500 donation to the Grafton Police Department to be used for updating marketing, recruiting, and branding materials from the Zaki Realtors Association. The motion to
I'll make a
accept.
motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Chief, high level,
I'm sorry?
you want to give us just a 30-second overview of the donation?
Yes, so the Ozaki County Realtors Association reached out to us and they wanted to provide some financial assistance to the police department for any type of program that their board would deem would be a reasonable assistance to the police department. We provided them with a list of things that we felt that the money would go good for. And they selected for the marketing and recruitment materials that we are trying to do for the rebranding process of the police department. So they were all for that, and that's how that came about.
Great. Motion and a second, final comments?
I just have one question. Is this a different project than the annual report packet that we got of public safety?
That's correct.
It's different,
Yeah, it's all tied together, but yes,
because that was
Yes.
excellent. And,
it's separate, yes.
okay, all right.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Move on to item C, for the Finance Committee, one item. Motion to recommend the village board accept the comprehensive annual financial report for the year ending December 31st be approved.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion and second, we went through it last month. I think most of everybody was here. Any questions for Paul? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Let's move on to item D, report of the Board of Public Works. Item 1 is a motion to approve the change order number 2 to the Headworks project, allowing the time extension to June 14th, 2021 as corrected be approved.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
A lot of chatter back and forth in the minutes that I saw, but Amber, do you want to give us the 30-second view?
Sure. This is just a 60-day time extension to the Headworks project for numerous reasons that CD Smith, the contractor, requested, including railroad coordination, COVID challenges, rock excavation and blasting, rebar delays, and winter weather. And there was quite a lengthy discussion at Board of Public Works where, some of that was agreed upon and some of it wasn't. But overall, a time extension was approved.
Okay, any questions for Amber? Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Item 2 is a motion to approve amendment number 1 to the owner engineer agreement for a total cost not to exceed $65,451 be approved.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Item 3 is a motion to approve the donation of the memorial plaque by MSA CD Smith, August Winter and Sons, Altmeyer Electric, and Energenics be approved.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. You can decide who takes the motion in a second. Item 4 is a resolution authorizing the urban non-point source and stormwater grants be adopted. That's a resolution. It's an offer motion and a second.
I'll offer.
I'll motion.
Second.
Offer motion and a second, pretty much straightforward. Any questions?
I just have one. Do we have any idea how much money we may be getting?
We won't get any money. It'll be used for kind of global work within kind of all of southeast Wisconsin. So we won't actually receive any money, but it also will not cost us anything. So
Okay.
hopefully we will, receive in kind, work to be done.
Services.
Okay, any other questions? Offer motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Let's move on to item E, report of the Public Safety Committee. Item 1 is a motion to approve one-way southbound traffic direction on 13th Avenue between North Street and Washington Street during the annual Grafton Lions Chip and Roast being held on June 13th, 2021 be approved.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We have one abstain. Motion passes. Let's move on to item 2. Item 2 is a motion to approve speed limit signs to be posted for westbound traffic on Shady Lane just after the railroad tracks, and for westbound traffic on Shady Lane just after Bayberry Lane, and for eastbound traffic on Shady Lane east of Shady Ridge Court be approved.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Let's move on to item 7, Department and Officers Reports. Jesse, you want to get us started?
Absolutely. Just a handful of items here to update the board on. As you may or may not be aware, the vacant Shopko building is currently up for auction. This is a public bidding auction. It will close Wednesday of this week. At that time, we should find out who would take ownership of that building. The village's CDA did briefly consider participation in that auction. However, the information we received led us to believe we would be outperformed at that auction quite quickly. And so therefore, there was a specific choice not to throw our hat in the ring, so to speak. But that said, we are watching very closely as to see what the results of that public auction are. The police department has been proactively offering safety training to local businesses. Recently, we've had 2 participate with more pending. It's one of our community outreach efforts that the police department has been focusing upon recently. The pool is scheduled for filling this week. That's a pretty important milestone as we prepare for opening. Staff is finishing up with preseason maintenance items, and then in goes the water. So we are full steam ahead in planning for an opening at the appropriate time for the summer swimming season. Also too, we have a the Department of Public Works will be focusing on Riverwalk landscaping starting tomorrow, over the course of this week, weather permitting. We have areas within Veterans Park, obviously we have to concentrate on, but also, and we have a contractual agreement to ensure we appropriately maintain the landscaping areas near the condos on the south side of Highway 60. So that will be a pretty important focus for the crews this coming week here. Lastly, in the mailboxes this week late last week was placed an updated quick reference guide. As you recall, about 18 months or so ago, I rolled out this concept of a quick reference guide as a new type of reference piece for board members. Otherwise, information such as this would come with the specific proposals. There was no, in essence, kind of quick reference guide for board members to adhere to or follow along with, rather, or receive advice by. That said, the update process was kind of clunky, being the first rollout. I will look to have that ready and set early each new year as we understand what materials are included in that reference guide. That said, I do fully anticipate this reference binder being a fluid document. If there are things in there you don't feel are necessary, let me know. Consensus of the board, we can take that out. We can review, should we have added items in there? And absolutely, it's a living, breathing document, and my goal would be to, moving forward, update it early each year instead of kind of a as-needed process. So,
Any other updates?
no, that is all I have this evening.
Okay, anybody have any questions or comments for Amber, Paul, Chief, or Jesse?
Amber, any word on the landscaping on 17th Avenue Lift Station?
I do believe it is on their schedule. I don't remember exactly when. I believe it's supposed to be happening soon.
Is that being done by an outside agency?
It is. It's being done, I forget the name of the company, but it's
Okay.
by a landscaping company.
Dave?
How are we progressing in summer help? I know that our rate of pay was pretty poor. Is that been considered to raise it to a normal pay, like $14, $15 hour you can get at Walmart, or?
I don't know how to do that at this point in the process, but we are talking about doing like a signing bonus, which I think was brought up at a prior meeting, to encourage getting some more employees. We are still short.
Yeah.
We only have one that has started so far, so we also have some, a few that are just starting later than normal as well, which is.
So I hate to see Jake Arndt out there cutting grass. He's better things to do than that.
No.
A silver lining to that, we are in very good shape with regards to the pool operations. We do have a silver lining there, but yes, we still do need help in the public works parks area. So, yep.
Thank you.
Any communication with waste management?
I have not received any.
Anything back?
Nope.
No?
So what do we do with next steps?
That'll definitely be a poke the bear type of response, where we have yet to hear back from you. What is your response?
Maybe it does appear they have a newer truck in town. Yeah, so they have a newer truck in town, and they were early last week, and this week they were normal, so they seem to be picking up.
No pun intended.
Tommy?
So, Amber, I know you gave a report on, or an update on landfill groundwater monitoring and DNR's response, and it's only been a week, but.
Right. Nothing new. I actually just talked to
Nothing new.
TRC today. We still have not heard anything. Talking to some people that have previously worked at the DNR, they decided to just kind of stop pushing them and asking for an answer and wait a good month or so just to hopefully not encourage the wrong answer.
Jesse, do we have any updates on the scrap annexations?
No, I did not have an opportunity to sit down with Director Wolf. That said, I have not had any new news come through my office. But that did actually jog a note here that I have a message in with the Realtor to set up a closing time on that donation of the message board sign, the former Fire Department Association. So we are looking to get that closing scheduled this week. So the village would take ownership of that.
Amber, a couple staffing questions, if you can answer.
Sure.
Update on the water engineer position that you have posted, and update on a replacement for Jack Canetter? How are we doing for applicants and that sort of thing?
Sure, I don't have a major update on the utility position. Those come through HR at Village Hall, and I don't always see them instantly, so I don't have a good update there. I think it's still open for a couple more weeks. As far as the crew person position, that one did close late last week. I believe we had 15 applicants. I'm in the process of trying to set up interviews with 5 of them. So hopefully we will have somebody new on board shortly.
Okay, other questions? All right, let's move forward. There's no licenses. Let's move on to item 9, report of the village. Entertain a motion for approval of village expenditures, $494,887.05.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion second. All right, so on the back and forth. Any further questions for Paul, Jesse? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Item 10, motion to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you. everyone.